Okay. So guys, tell me a little bit about your backstory, your journey. How long have you been with eXp?
Cool. 2 years. And we met in real estate, Veronica and I. She was
Nice.
licensed for a little bit longer than I have. And we met at an open house. She
Super
stole
cool.
all my buyers, John. We were competing against each other. And she
So
stole
it's
my
a
buyers.
real estate love story. I love it.
It is. I prospected her. Yeah.
So you've been in eXp for 2 years, and did you guys both make that decision to go to eXp, or was it your decision first, Will?
You want to talk?
No, it was more him. He obviously had a relationship with AJ, so he was the one who's like, okay, we're gonna make another move. We had just moved to a previous company and had just capped at that company, so he's like, I think this is something better. And I looked at the video and I was like, absolutely, let's make a move.
And how did you know AJ before, Will?
So my second year of real estate, after I realized I don't know what I'm doing, I found him. He started a mastermind, Real Estate Hustlers Mastermind. And the second I saw there was a pro expired calling, a door knocker, and AJ was like kind of the brains of like CRMs. I said, shit, yeah, I'm joining. I'm in. So
Nice.
I joined his mastermind and the rest was history.
So good. So you've been in eXp now for a couple of years. What are some of the things that you've experienced at eXp that have surprised you, that you weren't expecting when you made a decision to come over?
Ladies first.
The community, honestly, like you feel like you're part of something bigger. Like we always had this, and I'm sorry, we're you can hear the music in the back. We're doing
got a
this
lunch
lunch
alert
today. And
Nice.
we just spoke on stage and we came up and jumped on the phone too. So we felt like we were always the biggest fish in the pond. Like that was our struggle every time we switched from company to company. And we kept paying all these fees. So we wanted to be part of something bigger. And that's one thing, the eXp, even though it's a cloud-based company, we have an amazing community. They just pours into each other, which is just great. We have grown more in the last 2 years than we have in the 8 years before that we were in real estate. So
Wow.
So for me, the biggest surprise was how once it starts getting going, how fast it could grow, right? Even just thinking about 63 agents now, it's in 2 years, I thought it was going to be less than that, to be honest.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just surprising.
Yeah, man, we get desensitized to the size of these organizations. Like there's zero chance in 20 years that I would have grown a real estate team or brokerage to 63 agents. And like you guys have done that pretty passively on the backside of running your real estate business in 2 years. And now you guys are taking, larger actions. You're doing lunch and learns now and speaking at those. And what market are you guys in?
Boston.
Awesome. So totally untapped area. We got few people in Boston here in Game Changers, but you guys are untapped up there. The whole Northeast is untapped and you have so much room for growth. How are you guys going about your attraction efforts right now? What does that look like on a weekly basis?
We jump onto your trainings. So one thing is we're not trying to recreate the wheel. As soon as we came aboard, we jumped into the Game Changers group. You had the guide section. We went through that first 2 sections, which is agent attraction, and we followed it, right? 2-10-40. Super simple to follow. And that got the jump start. And then after that, we kind of mastered, just like prospecting, right? You start with expireds, master that, move on to for sale by owners. So we started with the 2-10-40, and then we moved to lunch and learns, and then social media. So we're doing it by mainly 2-10-40, and then the lunch and learns. I wish we were more consistent on it. I'll be honest, it's a struggle, right? It's like you're trying to sell and then you're trying to attract. It's not easy, but I'd rather this hard than other hards, right?
Yes. That's so good. So yeah, I look at what you're doing and I relate it to real estate as in like, okay, 2-10-40 is a pillar. Lunch and learns are a pillar. Social media is a pillar. And if we want to be successful in real estate, we have to have marketing pillars and we have to execute on those pillars consistently and well, and we have to develop a system if we really want it to be longstanding. So, you can ask yourself, you can say, okay, I have a 2-10-40 system. Like, what does that look like? Do you time block every Sunday night for the week for those 2-10-40s to happen? Do you just kind of do it whenever you get around to it? Do you have a paper tracking device? So you grade yourself like on a 1 through 10, like how is that system? And then you could look at your, lunch and learn. I would hedge a guess, Will, that the reason that you're not as consistent on your lunch and learn is because you haven't developed a system that makes the process easy yet. So be thinking about that. Like, what can you do to make that into a system to where it's easier to get up and week to week make it happen? And then what's cool is once you have a system, you can train it to others and you can get somebody to help you with those parts that you don't like doing. Because in just seeing you guys for a couple minutes on here, I'm sure you have no problem getting up in front of the room and talking to people. It's probably all the other crap, right?
It's all the other
It's
crap.
the preparation too that leads to it.
Yeah.
So what is your guys' dynamic? Like, how do you work together? Do you guys both do the same things? Do you divide and conquer? What's that look like?
Yeah, we divide and conquer. Yeah. Prospecting for real estate business and agent attraction.
Yeah.
And
So
what is
we do it a
Okay.
little different. So like for me, I'm one that I love to doing the almost like spontaneous interaction. I'm not as structured as he is in terms of the agent attraction. I love the sales part of it, so I do a lot of the sales of the real estate side and the prospecting on that side. But when we do these lunch and learns, I'm like a shark. Like, I know exactly who I need to talk to in the room and who I need to set up an appointment with, because those are the ones that are going to be our next partners at eXp. So I don't like to go through a call list, but when I'm at the lunch and learn, when we put a room, like today we're at the MGM Casino in Springfield. We have a room full of like 55 agents. And we knew when we got here that we have to address like a few of them, like just so we get a follow-up appointment with them. So that's what we're really good at. He's really good on the phone. I'm really good at in person.
so those people are still over there in that room?
Yeah.
They're still in that room right now. They're partying.
We'll show you in a second if you guys want to see.
And you're gonna go back and talk to them again?
Yeah.
After
So what can we give you right now for them? Like, how are you gonna go back there and address them based on what you had to step out to do?
So what we normally do is just set up a time that we can meet with them. On Zoom, we can watch the presentation. We've tried it for us. We've tried emailing it, and it doesn't work for me. Even if you get the 3 agreements, I know that there's a system behind it. For us, it's better if we watch it with them, or we sit down and watch it with them. So we set the appointment ahead of time to saying, hey, let's just watch it. They already saw the idea of what eXp is. Now let's sit down and let's watch it together and explain it.
Nice. So I would probably go back to them and like edify yourselves in a way, to make them want to get into a further conversation with you about that. So, hey, sorry I had to step out. We had 27 people that requested that we come on a call and share our journey with them. And here's why we did what we did. Here's what we saw originally. Here's what our experience has been. Here's the things that surprised us about eXp. If any of you would like to have a conversation with us one-on-one, we'd love to provide you with some of those same insights. And who knows, this might not be for you. So that's one of those magic sayings from What Exactly to Say, the book. This might not be for you, but we'd be willing to sit down with you one-on-one and share our story and see if there's any common ground. Just to make it like easy for them to want to get with you and meet with you, because there's people in that room that are thinking about what you guys are saying and offering, but they're scared to take that next step. They're lacking in courage because they haven't really made a commitment to they're looking or not looking. You follow me? So you just got to make it easy for them to get to that next step. And that's the same thing that you would probably work with Mark Giosa, who was asking the question before you guys jumped on of like, how do I get people from the presentation to the 3-way call? Well, it's probably just something simple like, hey, I don't know if this is for you or not, but I know that so-and-so is amazing. And even if you don't join eXp, you're going to benefit from this person's business sense, this person's real estate experience. And what I'd love to do is just facilitate a conversation between you and them. You'll get value out of it. you know, this is somebody, blah, 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 whatever you say to edify that person. Let's just jump on a call for 20 minutes with them. No pressure. I promise I'll never sell you into this. So something like that, because if somebody believes they're going to get value from something and there's no pressure, well, then they're going to show up for it because they're going to want the free value. The reason that people don't show up for the next step is because they either think they're not going to get value or they think they're going to get pressured, and they don't want either one of those. That's usually at the basis of that. So let's say that, let's get specific right now. Let's say that there's somebody listening to this call that just joined eXp last week. You guys have been in for 2 years now. I want to hear individual answers from both of you, but somebody who's still green, doesn't know what they don't know, what would you say to that person?
To attend both Tuesday and Thursday.
Why?
Tuesday and Thursday, you'll get the foundation of the trainings and the value there. And then Thursday, the agent attraction, if that's what they're looking for, just to get the exposure and see what it's like. Because that way they could just point it to other people. Because when we joined, AJ pointed that to us. Hey, join the Tuesday and Thursday. That was easy. I could replicate that. You always talk about something that's duplicatable. Let's focus on that. So we always try to focus. In fact, this Lunch and Learn is actually one of our leaders that created this. We created a template. We said, hey, you need to follow this template. She followed it. Now she's here at the casino just doing it. We were one of the speakers here.
Amazing.
So that's what I would say. Focus on the Tuesday and Thursday, and then we could build from that.
And I mean, stay curious. I feel like, you know, sometimes we're so nervous, like we want to learn the whole presentation. We want to be able to present. We want to be able to do all these things. If revenue share is, you know, your focus, then don't necessarily learn it. Like, you don't have to learn it. Like, follow the system. The system has been created so you could follow and you could duplicate, like he's saying. So it's just like follow the steps and you'll conquer. Like, just pass them on to somebody who knows what they're talking about, who could talk about the company, or who could, you know, who's edify that person. So I would say that's
I love what you guys are doing. I love that you guys are like renting out a room at a casino. That's awesome.
we're like hiding in a little corner.
You'd be like, yeah, don't gamble away your future. Come hear what we got to say. So what is your guys' vision? Like, where do you see yourselves 3 to 5 years out? What are you trying to do?
That's a great question. So she might have it mapped out. Honestly, they say eXp made it fun again, right? For me, it was 100% true because it was becoming so redundant. Selling real estate, great, money, great, all that stuff. But being a part of, like we were just talking on the ride here, our admin's in the back and she sells real estate, but she's trying to do more. Anyhow, we were talking about the collaboration, right? We were an island before this. Prospecting in a room by ourselves. Now we have 63 agents that we can hang out with. Right? I don't know what it's going to look like in 3 to 5 years. I know it's going to be a lot, but we're having fun just doing it. For me, I don't know what that looks like, to be honest. I'm just having fucking fun. That's it.
Well, I think our focus is step out of sales and be more like a leadership, mentorship role with eXp, and, you know, be a 900 agents. That's our goal 3 years from now. 900 agents. 900.
Okay. Does that 900 number have meaning to you, or is it just the number you picked?
$65,000 a month. That's kind of what will get us out of production.
Nice.
It will be a very comfortable place where we could just pour into our agents and continue the leadership that we have built.
I love it. Well, you guys have 63 right now. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're doing Lunch and Learns?
There.
Any reason why you can't get to that goal in less time than that, if you guys will just stay committed to the calls and doing what you're already doing. This market right now needs leaders like you guys to show up and lead people through this time, and you guys are doing it. So all you got to do is stay on that path that you're on, and you're going to get to that goal that you're looking for. So I just want to congratulate you guys. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. Thank you for coming to spend a few minutes with us when you were already doing something super awesome and important. And now go back there and get those people into one-on-ones and move them across the finish line.
Thank you for everything, brother.
Yeah, man. You guys. We got 5 more minutes left. Does anybody else have any specific questions that they want to address before we go here? I wanted to get those guys back to their event. But if you have any questions about anything we talked here today, let's hear what you guys got.
Hey, John, can I ask for a piece of advice? I was able to set up an appointment with a top producer. She has a team of about 4 agents and she does high-end real estate. I approach her as, I want to network. I want to know what you're doing that's working. Didn't mention eXp at all. She knows my husband. How should I approach my meeting with her? Like a coffee meeting?
Find her pain. So it's okay to take kind of the slower approach to prospecting. Gene Frederick is the master at this. This is what he did to grow his business. He would sit down with somebody and he would not bring up eXp. Even if they brought up eXp, he would just kind of like push it off to the side. You've got to find out where their pain is. And sometimes when we sit down with people that are successful like that, there's a tendency for them to just highlight everything. And a good transition question for them is just be curious, right? So that's kind of like your MO in there. You want to learn from them and you're curious, but you've got to ask the question like, hey, so thank you for sharing all this amazing stuff with me. I have like a whole page of mental notes that I want to think about after we leave this appointment. But aside from all of those things that are working, what's the one rock in your shoe? Like, what's the one thing you wish you could change about your business, about this industry? What's that for you? And get them to start talking about their pain. Because if you don't ever get to their pain, you'll never bring them to a positive future with eXp. So we've got to get them from positive present to painful present. And then we can move to a new positive future with eXp. So I would really like drill down on the pain. And it's not to say that like the second that they tell you their pain that you're like, well, eXp solves that, you got to join eXp. It's like, no, really understand where they're coming from. And when you understand where they're coming from, then you could try to connect those dots and say, hey, you know, your story, thank you for sharing. It sounds so familiar to one of my business partners, John Mikish, or one of my business partners, Robert Colello. I'd love to like introduce you to them and maybe they can share some things that they did to overcome that pain. And then boom, you're out of it.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Tom, you raise your hand.
Yeah. So as far as when you're presenting on a Zoom, the video, which is the best video to present? The 9-minute or the full 36 eXp, the model explained? I've done both, but 36 seems way too long. 9 is too short. I don't know.
I would say that if I was able to pick one and I could get them to watch either one, I would go with the modelexplain.com. Now, there's some instances where somebody's at such a level or they're like uber luxury and like maybe they're turned off by that. But even still, even in those situations, I want to increase my odds and my conversion rate to the highest possible. And that's the video that's been proven to bring more people in than any other. And I think part of it is the presentation, and the other part of it, or the art of it, that you're only going to master when you get the reps in, is how do we set up the presentation? And then how do we conclude the presentation? So let's say that I get you on and we watch a 36-minute video. If I don't set that up and you think you're going to watch a 3-minute video and we're 30 minutes in, like, it's going to be painful for both of us. So I got to be like, hey, Tom, listen, I appreciate that we got together. What I want to share with you is sort of the backstory and the model of the real estate company that has changed the real estate industry forevermore. Not only is it the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate, it's also the most profitable real estate company currently. And it's going to change the way that real estate is done, meaning that any new model that comes along hereafter is going to be similarly structured because they're going to have to be competitive. Now, in order for me to show all this to you, it's going to take a little bit. So I got a video that's about 30 minutes long. Are you still good for me to show you this video? And it's kind of like I'm doing the takeaway with them. And by doing, they're like, yeah. So now I've got their buy-in before we do it. And I'm going to share this video and I'm going to say, listen, before we go into it, I'm going to put my phone on airplane. I'm going to ask you to do your same. because if what I believe to be true is true, this 30 minutes could change the rest of your career. So like I've set it up, I put the value on it. There's a big difference between what they get out of the 30-minute video with that setup than, hey, let's watch a video. Thanks for being here.
Oh my God, I love that.
Then
What about putting it on, what about putting it on 1.25 speed or just regular speed?
I've never done that, so I have no response to that.
I did that. It was a little fast, but I did not set up the call like you just did.
It's already so fast. Like
Yeah.
you understand it. So to you, it seems slow because you've watched it over and over and you
Right.
understand it.
Right.
As new information, it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
And what I'll tell
That's
people,
true.
that was a lot. And I don't expect that you fully understand. Like I literally just did this presentation live for somebody where I am. And I said, look, guys, there's no way you're going to understand this model in this one sitting. But I've got to rip the cover off of it so you start to get exposed to it so that you will understand it in our next few sittings. So, just chill, like take it all in, and then we're going to talk about it. When I'm watching I'm watching the presentation with somebody, I'm watching them. So if we're on a Zoom, I'm watching them. I'm watching their body language. I don't always read that body language correctly over Zoom. It's much easier in person, but I'm getting some awareness of what's going on. And if they're like chuckling about it and they're laughing about it, and it seems like they're like poo-pooing it, like that's how I'm going to respond. I'm going to be like, listen, what I just made you watch, I made you watch intentionally because I want you to understand that the person doing that video makes millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars per year in passive income. And if he can do that by recruiting a handful of people who recruit some people who recruit some people, what can you do with your luxury background, with your broker experience, with your hundreds of agents? So like, I'm just going to go there with them. And I'll turn the thing that they think is bad about the video into the thing that makes it positive.
Love it, man. I wish I would have known this information a year ago.
We learn by doing, brother. That's all right. We fail forward.
Yeah, this is it, man. Thank you so much. It's awesome.
Kurt, what you got, buddy?
Hey, what about how do you differentiate between doing the model explain and then the one that Lars did, the eXp Opportunity Explained?
Yeah, so the eXp Opportunity Explained is really good too. I like the visual dynamic of the model explained, the production quality a little better. But if I'm sending it to somebody who's very business minded, they're going to click with the way that Lars presents it, and I'm probably going to put them on that. The other case study where I put people on the Opportunity Explained is when they say, John, I've already seen the model. Well, they might have actually seen the modelexplained.com, but they haven't seen the eXp opportunityexplained.com. So I'll be like, listen, that's cool that you got that overview. That video is kind of old. What I want to do is I want to take you right into our organization, and I want you to see this through the filter of how we explain it. And then I make it like you have to watch this video or you don't understand it.
John,
So there's only so many things, right? Like you're not going to catch me off guard. Like I'm going to have somewhere to go with you. The key is always having somewhere to go with them.
John,
Okay.
can you reiterate, I started to record you, that was so good. How you set up the call for the people, the first part there, that was really good. Could you just re-say that?
Yeah, so you can just go back and rewatch it. Like it's recorded on Facebook and
Okay.
it will be there. What I want to speak to about that in the few seconds that we have here, because we're already over time, is that the way I set it up in that example is the way I set it up in my mind, thinking about a specific person. Every time I set it up, my setup is my art, right? And there's a general setup that we can talk about, which is excitement, urgency. Hey, I'm going to put my phone on airplane mode. I would ask that you do the same. That's the general format for setting up a call. But when you do this over and over and over again, there's an art to how you do it. So if I'm setting it up for somebody that's very like nervous about being there, listening about it, very unsure if they want to make a move, probably don't, and they're very scared of being sold, then I set it up differently. Then I say, hey, eXp is crazy awesome. I've loved it. I had a lot of conceptions about eXp before I started that proved to be false. Let's just watch this together. And in this 20 or 30 minutes that this video is going to take, you're going to have a really great understanding of how eXp works, but it may not be for you. But I at least want you to get the information filtered and disseminated to you correctly so that you can make a good decision for you and not keep getting these random calls from people you don't even know about eXp, but have a quality look at it and make a good decision for you and your family. See how my tonality changed? Like everything about my demeanor changed from being like, dude, this is so awesome. You got to watch it. Like, it's great, to being like very like passively aggressive. Like, I'm step back from it. Like, hey, this might not be for you. I don't know. I'm not going to pressure you. I'm just here to make sure you get a quality look at it. I say quality look at it all the time because everybody thinks they know eXp because some rando has reached out to them and said about some things about eXp, but they've never sat down and taken the whole presentation in context. So I'm just out here doing my job, trying to make sure that you, Robert, get a quality look at it. Then you can make a decision. I have confidence in you and your ability to make a decision for yourself. I'm not here to make a decision for you or to force your hand into a decision. I just want to give you a quality look at it. So it changes. You know, if I got a brand new agent that's brand new in real estate, it's like, hey, what I'm about to show you is really something that you probably can't even appreciate because you just got started, but this has changed the industry. You've now walked into an industry that's changed because of what I'm about to show you. So let's kind of do a historical look back on what just happened in the real estate industry. And then I'll tell you how you can capitalize on this opportunity where you are currently. And then I'll talk about the training and the sales training and the collaboration and the free mentoring and coaching. And it's just different. It's different for the new agent than the broker owner.
Perfect. That was good.
Cool, man. All right, guys. Well, we are 6 minutes past the hour. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. If this was helpful for you, I encourage you, tag somebody that needs to watch this in your organization. You know, get people to experience this, get some good out of it so that they can grow too. Did I have anybody that I forgot? Any last minute questions? Awesome, guys. Have a great week, and we'll be here next week and see you then.